How you guys doing? James here. I want to show you a video. What happened recently at a restaurant, but I also want to show you what's going on with the race relationships. And sometimes I cover a lot of topics, but this is getting more realer and realer. And it shows that the past keep repeating in the present. And even though one demographic say one people want to go, which they always say black people don't want to let go, but we hear that these some white people don't want to let it go. I'm gonna show you the video, what I'm talking about.
See, they're the same. Help for women or someone respect your body stuff. Like that or a new contraceptive, but never. It comes from white people. It can never be good. Okay. Now, first, we're going to take it back to a time that the government they actually approved this huge stuff. Okay, they said it was okay. We can do this since we're white supremacists. We can say who can and who can't reproduce and create, use what they have to create life. Okay, now they can't go through that process of creating life. Why? Because white supremacists said so. It goes back to the year of 1907. Okay, I'm going to actually read. In 1907, Governor J. Frank Hanley of Indiana approved a eugenics law, making Indiana the first state to approve compulsory eugenic sterilization law. This law made sterilization mandatory for certain individuals in state custody and prohibited marriage license for imbeciles, epileptics, and those of unsound minds. This law was passed for the purpose of decreasing reproduction amongst these individuals based on the belief by Indiana authorities that criminality, mental problems, and other issues were hereditary. So bottom line, these white people said in the state of Indiana, we can sterilize you if we say so, because we don't want you to reproduce and have more people like you if we say that we have a problem with you, okay? So some white person with the label of a professional can just look at another human being and say, nah, let's stop this person's bloodline. Let's sterilize her, okay? Why? Because I'm white and I say so. And if they're not white, okay, they're working for a white person. And yes, they did do this to their own people as well. But anytime you start dealing with black people, the situation is always going to get worse due to racism, Satanism, and the religion of white supremacy, okay? So, in the year of 1927, right, the Supreme Court upheld the state's right to sterilize a person. So this, years later, went to the Supreme Court, and they said, we're going to uphold that, okay? And it actually happened in a case called Buck versus Bell, which Carrie Buck was a 17-year-old white girl who was an inmate at a Virginia state colony. She was at a place for epileptics and feeble-minded people. This girl named Carrie Buck, this white girl, she gave a baby. She gave birth to an illegitimate child. Now, what happened with Carrie Buck was she was an adopted little white girl, and her foster parents had a nephew, and this nephew R-worded her and got her pregnant. Okay, and therefore, this thing happened with Carrie Buck. They looked into it and they said, we're going to uphold, the U.S. Supreme Court said, we're going to uphold our right to be able to stop people from reproducing. Look at this Carrie Buck here. We don't want this. We don't want more humans walking around that may be like her. Okay? So, yes, the federal government did support this. Okay? So, these white supremacists went all throughout the nation, very heavy in the South, sterilizing black women, just doing what they wanted to do. I'm talking about black women right now. Did they do it to white women? Yes, you see Carrie Buck is white, but again, like I said, anything that they do to white people, they're going to make it much more intense and hateful with black people. And it's not even right with white people. Not trying to say that's right at all. So if somebody wants to talk about white women who were sterilized, guess who you won't see in the comments saying anything? Me. Because I'm going to make this about black women, okay? Now, I actually did a story on the original channel about a woman, black woman in the state of North Carolina by the name of Elaine Riddick. she was sterilized against her will at the age of 14 because she had gotten R-worded, right? Somebody R-worded her, did that to her against her will, and got her pregnant at the age of 14. Now, she did have this child, and this child is a healthy man now, okay? She has a great relationship with this child that she had when she was 14, but she was never able to have children again at her own time, in her own decision, with her husband or somebody that she was in a relationship with, because the state sterilized her. The state of North Carolina eugenics program sterilized Elaine Riddick, okay? Now there's another story, a landmark story of the thousands of black women who they did. They did this to thousands of black women. We talking thousands and thousands. They say between the year of 1907 and 1939, okay, this is before Elaine Riddick's time, this year's, but before that, in the year of 1907, 1939, more than 30,000 people in 29 states were sterilized unknowingly or against their will while incarcerated or in prisons and at psychiatric institutions. Half of these sterilizations of these women between 1907 and 1939 happened in the state of California. Disgusting place. Okay? Now, what happened was, after 1939, after the Holocaust, this whole eugenics thing, it kind of lost popularity because people could see things that were going on with this Holocaust situation. And they're like, oh, this is eugenics. This is not right. So this whole, after the year of 1939, this whole sterilization program kind of slowed down. But throughout the 50s, it kicked back up. It didn't disappear. What happened was it changed its form. And that's typical white supremacist tactic of deception or changing forms. They don't stop things. They don't stop the evil that they're doing. They just give it a new form. It's the same thing.
Transform.
Y'all see how it goes, people? That's the religion of white supremacy. Same ingredients, pack it up in a new box, new package. You think it's something else, it's not. Now, this time around in the 50s, right, with this whole eugenics thing and what they were doing, this time it wasn't so much about the feeble-minded people and these defective genes that they were talking about, okay, before. That was their excuse before. Now they're saying that we need to do this because black women are hyperbreeders who cannot sustain themselves and they're draining public resources. This is what they said in the 50s. They said black women are hyperbreeders, they cannot sustain themselves, and they are draining public resources. They draining all the money. So after they framed this or presented this eugenics tactic, they're going to do like this, right? Because of this reason, sterilization increased in the 50s and in the 60s in many of these southern states. You know, North Carolina, Virginia, it increased in the 50s and the 60s and in the 70s. And that's what the sister Elaine Riddick got caught up in the state of North Carolina. They said that you all are hyperbreeders. You can't sustain yourselves and you're draining public resources. And they also said things like, you know, they still were, you know, going with the you're crazy, you're feeble-minded or whatever, throwing all that in there as well. Okay? So the government in the late 60s actually said in the late 60s, the government, that voluntary sterilization is legal when informed consent has been given. So now they said, okay, it's only legal if informed consent has been given. That's what the government said in the 60s, okay? So they went wild with that, making money, getting rid of people.
So guess what? You think guess what? Who's promoting that right now? It's being promoted right now. And guess you know who the party is. That's what it's basically about. And you know what? A lot of our people don't even really realize that what he's telling you is being promoted. Number one thing is being promoted right now. That's what's behind it. It's not about women's health.
they went absolutely wild with that, okay? And the key word here again, people, is informed consent. Now, people, we all know that these white doctors in the 60s and 70s did not give black people informed consent. Okay? They could have read everything that was there, and a poor black person, after this was just read to them, a poor black person may not have known what a doctor was saying. In 2024, a doctor pulls so-called people who are intelligent in a room and just makes them feel so stupid, right? Because they take you to a whole nother place to where you're scared, you feel small, you think these doctors are smart, spitting out these terminologies. They not that smart at all. So imagine what they were doing with black people, you know, in the 60s. They're saying, oh, we got to have informed consent, so let me tell you everything. Let me inform you. Do you give me consent? You know what I mean? So in the 1970s, Congress actually passed the Family Planning Services and Population Research Act, okay? And with this program, with this act that they passed, they kicked out $383 million for contraceptive programs. That's in the 70s, okay? So what they did was they gave grants to hospitals that performed voluntary sterilizations, okay? And they said that they did this in an attempt to reduce the number of welfare recipients. So the government is like this. If you do sterilizations at your hospital, we're going to kick you this money, okay? And many of these hospitals use these funds to operate on black women who were unaware of these procedures that were undergoing. Okay, so you know that these hospitals wanted to do this. In 1970, Congress passed this act. They kicking out $383 million. Hospitals, you want part of this? Okay, have a voluntary sterilization program. How evil is that? That's what you call the religion of white supremacy, okay?
He's still doing it.
That's the white government.
They still
gave these hospitals even more money.
Exactly.
If they would have voluntary, so they say, sterilizations. And who are they going to sterilize? Of course, we're going to sterilize black women.
Black American women.
Okay? And as a result of this legislation that they passed during the 70s.
And guess what? Your sister, for the black women that voting for Kamala, your sister girl is going to pick it right back up. And she's going to persuade you to do that for the ones that want to vote for Kamala. So guess what? So you want to think that she's going to bring in the benefits. But no. This party supports it. And guess what's really sad, black people? The Black Caucus is behind it too, supporting this.
The U.S. Health, Education, and Welfare funded 90% of the annual sterilization costs for poor people. Okay? They funded 90% of these sterilizations. The government. Sterilization for women increased 350%. 350% between 1970 and 75. And about 1 million American women were sterilized each year. So this is another government tactic, kind of similar to the thing that they just did where they made people stay in the house or threw people out there and said, now they really got people looking stupid, you know, taking advantage of the minds. Oh, well, we didn't make you get it.
That's it.
We didn't tell you you had to get it. It's voluntary.
Right.
But you are the ones paying out money to these institutions to make them want to make the money and bring more black people in.
Right.
And the government is sit back like, oh, we didn't. Yes, you did. You funded 90% of them. Okay? You bought people in. You entice these medical institutions by saying, if you do it, we'll give you this. So then they went out and got their little task force, being that they're evil, a part of your community as well. Let's go get black women to do this. And
You're pro-choice.
Between 1970 and 1975, 1 million American women were sterilized each year. The government paid
pro-choice.
90% of that.
Pro-choice.
And it's a known actual fact that the majority of the doctors who did this were white European men. They dominated the field in this time in America. There weren't too many Dr. Guptas and Dr. Patels. Even though they do that now, these are white European men. That's what they do. They sit back. Hey, we ain't gonna tell you. You gotta tell these people to get that poke in their arm. But if they don't do it, we're not gonna give you this money. Oh, okay, we gotta push that poke then. They sit back and people go for the okie doke.
Right.
Anything coming from them has never been good since the planet has started. I mean, it is what it is, people. That's why I don't understand how these people got over so much during that whole thing when I don't even know if you can say they had a whole lockdown when they had people going crazy. You don't know your history as a black person. What has ever good I mean, that's what the problem was. A bunch of black people who went on watching videos and BET shows and going on time joining cruises and all this other stupid stuff, but they didn't look at anything about their history and the medical history with black people in America. They would have known, we're not supposed to do this. And now look what happened. They're saying, it does nothing. You didn't have to get it.
Right.
Got all these black people now sick running around. Anyway, same thing they did. We should know these things because what our people went through back here in these situations when they were sterilizing black people like crazy. This information is there.
And guess what? They haven't stopped. And when she get in the office, she's gonna continue that program. But black people some of us who are our relatives don't see the bigger picture, don't stay informed on things like this. This is what is really why is look at this now. Now all the people that crossing the border, are they gonna put this on them? No. Are they gonna put this? You know who they're gonna put? Hopefully that they put it in the city too. Why they go to inner city Chicago and there was a report that like these reproductive go to young school in the inner city before the people came across the border. See, this is what this is playing right now undercover in Chicago. And guess what? You have some black churches is behind this, supporting, because Trump is so racist. But did Trump ever order something like this? Is he really pushing something like this? But they're using a female. And think about the person running against Trump. What did she do with black men when she was in California? She's trying to destroy the black family, and black people don't even see it. She's literally using her. And y'all falling for it. Some of y'all are falling for it. This is the history of it. This is what's being pushed into politics. They're trying to bring it to the forefront and spread to all 50 states. But that's the background of it. It ain't about that. Because ain't too many women are getting SA and having pregnancy out of SA. It's not a whole number. There's no stats on it. But they're saying that this is the reason why this is important. But hey, that's another thing. Hey, but I'm going to show you. It's going to get even deeper. Because they say, "Oh, that's just the past." Well, guess another thing is coming up in the present. Listen to this man. Because people don't believe.
I got some breaking news. I need everybody in on this one. I need y'all to like this video. I need y'all to share this video. We got to get the word out there. Now, I follow this one creator who has a family member that's from Chicago, Illinois, by the name of Javion McGee. Well, her cousin was a truck driver. He just so happened to pass through Henderson County, North Carolina, and that was his last stop. They found his body hanging from a tree. And guess what? That's my neck of the woods. So listen, if you have any information, anybody seen anything strange, man, let's get some justice for Javion McGee. Once again, I guess that's what he was doing down here. I'm going to share the video a little bit later, but yeah, his cousin said the reason he was first of all even here, because he's originally from Chicago, Illinois, but he made his way through Henderson County, North Carolina, and was found hanging from a tree. Now, they're saying in the news, they're trying to say, not in the news, but the police are trying to say that he did this himself. And they're even going as far as to say it shows where he went to the Walmart and purchased the rope. Man, listen, let me tell y'all something. White people, black people, well, not black people, because black people know this. But every other race out there is not too many black people who unalive themselves, especially by way of a rope. Y'all can miss me with that bullshit. So, anyway, once again, if you have any information, Javion McGee was found in Henderson County, North Carolina. He was a truck driver, but that he was found hanging in a freaking tree in Henderson County, North Carolina. And this is sad. It's sad, but you know what, though? That let you know, black people, brown people, be watchful. Now, folks ain't put them, they ain't put their little wicked behavior up yet. The ones that, you see what I'm saying, that did that and commit those kind of atrocities. No, they still doing it. But see, they cowards. So they do it when they only catch one by themselves. You see what I'm saying? But you know the sad part about this whole damn thing is, what happened is one of them people that think like that just so happen to wear a uniform, pretending like they're pulling you over for something, and then that's the last time anyone will hear from you. And how in the fuck are we going to be able to prove it? You see what I'm saying? It's so easy. It should be to the point where there should be no light-skinned person should be able to be a police officer, because we don't have a hate gauge meter. You understand what I'm saying? We just know that when the actions happen, then that's when we found out who you are after you hurt somebody, after you took somebody's life. So once again, last year we had about 3 different black people that was found hanging from trees in different parts of the U.S., but I think it was at least 2 or 3 in Florida. But once again, let me know what y'all think about this video. If you got any information on Javion McGee, anybody seen anything? If you're close to that area, y'all please.
Yeah, so it's getting real. So I'm trying to find where that video at. I want to show you what this guy looked like.
So this young man was found hanging from a tree yesterday. His name is Javion McGee, and he's from Chicago, Illinois. This young man was a truck driver and had a promising future. I had a lot of people tagging me in this young lady's video, so I wanted to get the story out as soon as possible. I'm gonna have her tell the story, but if you can't make a video about this, please duet this video. Your duets, your reposts, your shares will get this story heard. So even if you feel like you're doing a little, you will be doing a lot. But I'm gonna let her share the story.
Hey y'all, I would have never thought I'd have to make this kind of post on my TikTok, but my family desperately needs your help. This is my little cousin, Javion McGee. He's from Chicago, Illinois. He was 21 years old and would have been 22 in a few weeks. He was found hanging from a tree in Henderson, North Carolina yesterday. He drove trucks, so that was his reason for even being out there. The police officers are trying to say that he went to Walmart and purchased the rope and hung himself. We obviously don't believe that, and we are just asking for your help to push his story out there. This isn't covered on any local platforms. No news stations, radio, none of that. So we're trying to push it out there. We really need your help. The police officers in the coroner's office are giving us a hard time, not allowing his mom to identify the body. At one point they told her she can't identify the body due to COVID, and then the next day, today, they told her the father has to give her permission for that, which he said that he would. She asked if they could send her pictures at least. They told her yes, and then turned around and told her, oh, I don't think that you want to see your son like that. Come on. Like, this is just this is just very devastating for my family, and we really need to push this story out there. So if y'all could please repost this video, keep saying his name, Javion McGee, hashtag justice for Javion, and we are gonna fight for him, and we are standing behind my cousin 100%, and they're not getting away with this. So please share this video. Thank you.
And if y'all want to follow her for any more updates, I'm going to tag her name in the description and in the comments. To the ones that's going to repost, share, and duet or make videos, I want to say thank you. Even though he's not my family, I would love to see this family get justice. So this young man was found hanging from a tree yesterday. His name is Javion McGee, and he's from Chicago, Illinois. This young man was a truck driver and had a promising future. I had a lot of people
He was just sleeping in his car, and he was woken by some police officers. Then he was shot 10 times, just because the color of his skin. Just because of the color of his skin. Nothing else. Just sleeping in his car, approached by some police officers, then he's shot 10 times. He's not here anymore. His family won't see him anymore. I don't want to incite any kind of violence. That's not what I'm about. But I'm asking our government, I'm asking our mayors, our governors, the people that is leading the different states. What is going on? It's going to come a time when people start fighting back. I am afraid of that. Black people is going to start to fight back. I am afraid of that because I know what that is going to do. It's going to give you all the green light to go even harder. It's going to give you all the green light to kill even more of my people. So many black people have been killed by police officers just because of the color of their skin. Sleeping in their beds, sleeping in their cars, in their own homes. They call police and they end up getting killed just because they are black. America, I am wise enough to know I'm not supposed to incite violence. I don't want to incite any type of violence. No, that's not what we are about. However, you cannot keep on slapping a man and don't think he's going to chop your hands off eventually. America, I needed to speak to your police officers, all those police officers that is killing black people for no reason. Killing black people for no reason. Police that is there to protect and serve us, they are killing us just because we are black. America, you have to do something about this because I am telling you, this is a warning. I am not inciting violence. Please don't take this as that. This is me seeing what is coming. You kill black people and then go into the suburbs with your families and live. Sleep wonderful in your beds. But these people, family members, are gone. You have your family, you have your children, you have your mother, you have your father, you have your wife, you have your husband. But these people are no longer here because you use your badge and your gun and kill them because you know you can hide behind it. America, this is a warning. Take heed. Black people is not going to take this much more. And don't y'all put this on me and try to make it seem as if I am inciting any kind of violence. I am not doing that. I am warning you, America, you cannot keep on killing black people and think that nothing is going to come of it. Eventually, they are going to stand up. They're going to stand up. Just because of the color of your skin, you're getting killed. This is crazy. 2024. Just because of the color of your skin, you are getting killed. America, you have to do something. You have to do something. Kamala, you have to do something. Kamala, you have to do something. You have to do something. Get rid of all these officers. You all are hiring these people and you all not training them properly or whatever you all are telling them. They have the wrong idea. They're still acting like slave catchers. They're here to protect and serve. America, America, please take heed. Stop killing black people. Police, stop killing black people illegally without them doing anything that is deserving of death. Yeah. He was just sleeping in his car and he was woken by some.
Well, he's absolutely.
Okay, this is a prophetic alert. I had a dream Thursday. Okay, this is a Okay, this is a prophetic alert. Okay, this is a prophetic alert.
Sorry about that. But yeah, well, it gets even worse. Watch this.
Alright guys, let's see what we've got. Orange juice, got our milk, bread, coffee, got our cereal for tea.
Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
And we serve as the voice to the global black community.
Here we got Dr. Candace Matthews.
A lot of these documents, looking at.
We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media.
This country is supposed to be about the land of the free for all. It has not been free for black people, and we are tired.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
This is a message to all black people who live in the state of Alabama. Do not go to Nick's Original Filet House, also known as Nick's in the Sticks, ever. A man by the name of Hunter Sarton invited his friends, who are black, to Nick's in the Sticks to celebrate their son's 22nd birthday. He spoke highly of this restaurant. So they went, and while they were seated, Hunter joined them. One of the owners of the restaurant, Jack Moltz, had a problem with black people in that restaurant. But more importantly, he was astonished at the fact that Hunter Sartain was sitting with them. So he confronted Hunter and said, "What are you doing consorting with the N-words?" Take a look at what happened.
Come on, hey, you messed up, man.
No, I didn't mess up.
Yeah, you did. Because this is their first time experience and they're friends of mine here. And then
not,
you want to make me feel bad because I sat down at the table and then you asked me if I'm going to consult with these NIGGERS.
No.
Yeah, that's exactly what you said. Every one of them heard it.
No, they did not.
Yes, they did.
It was always
Yes, they did. And then when I got pissed off and you knew I was pissed, you wouldn't hide behind the bushes. That's not right.
I'm right
This is
here.
their first time here.
I
was just bragging. Ask everyone. I was bragging how good it was to come back. And they wanted to come back until you showed your ass out here and had a problem with race.
Our first time down
And you
here,
did
and
not
he called
like it.
all
And I
this.
sat down. And when I come out, you confront me for talking to him. You say, so you condone this? That's what you asked me. You condone the blacks? Ain't no condone about it. They're my friends. They're just like us. You just didn't want them in there. And I'm not for that. And you know what? As far as I'm concerned, everybody that eats in here that I know will probably never be back. When I walked out, he jumped all over me and said, so you condone sitting at the table with the NIGGERS? Yes.
Thank you.
Well, I'm glad that Hunter took the initiative to give up his white privilege and take up for his black friends. And I guarantee you, Jack Moltz was not expecting that. He expected Hunter to be an ally. He expected Hunter to go against his black friends. And as you can see, he looks very shocked that he is getting dragged by one that looks like him. Hunter also mentioned that this black family are his friends, and then he said, they're just like us. Well, that is definitely not the case. And we have multiple stories to certify that. We are not like them. We are not treated like them. And this is evidence of that. Hunter also mentioned that everybody he knows will not come back once they see how this black family was treated. I beg to differ. I am pretty sure that there were people actually in that restaurant, probably feeling the same way that this owner, Jack Moltz, felt, but just didn't have the courage to approach and say that. Because let's face it, we're talking about Alabama. There's plenty of racism to go around in Alabama. I'm sure there are several places like this that are not happy to see black people frequent or be in that establishment.
Not just Alabama.
And as a result of all of the backlash that Jack and Carla Moltz are receiving, Jack has issued a statement of apology. Take a look.
30 years of Sherrod Brown has cost Ohioans plenty, like when he voted for the $1.2 trillion.
On Friday, July 26th, I made a statement to a white customer of the restaurant referring to African Americans, customers, who were present as the N-word. There is no place for any person to use the N-word. There is no excuse or justification that can be made for my characterization nor the hurt it has caused. I accept all the condemnation and criticism which I have evoked, all of which is justified towards me. I sincerely apologize to the African Americans who were present at the restaurant that night, and specifically apologize to the young man who was having his 22nd birthday. I apologize to the employees of the restaurant. I sincerely apologize to the African American people. I will be attempting to identify those people and calling them to apologize, and will ask for the opportunity to apologize in person. I sincerely apologize to all the people of the community for my reprehensible use of the N-word. I will live with the shame and hope that in someday I can be forgiven.
And this is what they always do. Once they get dragged and they get all the backlash and their family is being threatened, this is when they come on camera, and in this case, a written statement that probably wasn't written by him, insincere, not true. We know that this person is still a racist, but they just can't handle the smoke that they're getting. So he's saying, please, please, I'm the victim now, and, please just, I take responsibility, it's me. And there's no place for racism. There was a place for racism at his restaurant, wasn't there? And please, please, please don't, attack my family. It's me, it's all me. Did you think about the black family that you were attacking racially? That was a family that you're responsible for ruining their son's birthday celebration due to your racism. Did you think about their family? Did you consider their feelings? No, you did not. So now that you're getting the smoke, you want it to stop. Well, that's what you get. And I know you thought that because you're in Alabama, the racist state of Alabama, and you thought you had all the allies in that restaurant, they were not there for you. Let me know what you all think about this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this content. Also,
she's absolutely right. Some people want to continue with the past, and have you noticed? I always made this in the past. There's two type of racists. You have the ones that do it in the first video, through eugenics, and through which is so-called medical, and then you have the direct ones like that. That's how bad black people are hated in America. I mean, literally, they're literally hated that much. This is a generational thing. I mean, no group of people have been to the extreme hatred as black people. I mean, there's other people, Latinos, Native Americans, Japanese, Vietnamese, German, Irish, whatever. But no one have ever, to the point that they have brought this much at them and experiment on them. We're the only people they as a collectively, as a human race, have been done this to, and still trying to bring it back. But now they have to transform it with the first video, and a lot of our people don't even know it, that there's people behind it. And it's a sad thing of some black people, like it was back then, it is now. All for this, to go along with the party. But they don't care nothing about their own people. That's sad. And people in America blind some black people with this. That when we see some of color, we get so super happy that they down with us. But we never check out their character. We don't know if they're hand selected. We don't know if they're hand picked to finish their agenda. And this is why I pointed it out in that video. And eugenics, it is racist people who design and still not only doing this, but they even going to the continent under trying to so-called solve the problems in Africa. Instead of coming at people over in Africa. And wherever there's a heavy black population, they'll do it there. This is how deep this thing is. And I'm not exaggerating. They experiment. I went down, they're down in Latin America and trying to reduce their population. And so-called through certain medical procedures. And they take it out on the poor first. These people are wicked. These people are very, very wicked. But then you have the single direct racist people, like in the case with Alabama. And in other places, not just Alabama, but other places. Like the case in North Carolina. There's still pockets of it. It's still, and this is what people don't understand when they come to America. This is the thing they don't want to tell you. It's still going on. Some things are not going to end till Jesus comes back. This is what I've been talking about. And of course, videos like this one won't get a lot of views because it don't fit the agenda. But this is true. And the ones who are waking up see this. Some of us who are waking up seeing what's going on. And we know it never left. It transformed. Racism transforms. And what they say is white supremacy transforms. So you don't know who's the white supremacy. Neely Fuller made an excellent point about that. We don't know who the white supremacist is until they really show you. He's absolutely right. Absolutely right. We don't know who the white supremacist is. So I just wanted to make this video, but yeah. And so for the black folks that come across the video, you decide who you want to vote for. See how a certain party wants. But remember, it's going to pick back up. She get in office, guess what? You're the one to be one of the first targets. Because not those people, they ain't gonna do those people. Look what they reward those people. They reward them and their children. You're not getting rewarded. You're one of the poor ones. Yeah, there's poor white people and Hispanic, but they're still trying to figure out a way to kind of reduce your population. And that's what this so-called these sorority black sister girls don't even see it. That gave her that money. They too busy worried about what Trump. And I'm not saying that he did. I don't know, but I don't think he would do something that doggone to the point. I don't think he's not that evil. He might be prejudiced, but that's beyond prejudice. Eugenics is beyond prejudice. That's like taking it to a whole different standard. And this is going to happen. This is going to happen to the rest of the black population in America. They trick you and think that you're a fool. They're going to throw all these trinkets, make it seem all like this. But that was her agenda the first time. She didn't slow down the border, ain't do nothing for the job security, certain things like that about business. She go bought small business loan, as she say. But where they gonna get the money? The United States is practically broke. You know, they didn't spend all that war money going over Ukraine and Israel, and it's affecting different areas. They got us believing that, but we know that it's practically broke, and it's gonna take another 5-10 years for it, maybe over decades for the generations to come. That it's over. So it ain't no money in the pot, so to speak. She's full of it, and then she wants to continue after she does get reelected to continue that nonsense, sending billions of dollars. But she ain't gonna give you reparations. She ain't want to give you a hate crime bill. She talk all that stuff. She still carry that spirit, and all because she went to a black college, and black people, you're being fooled again. That's all I gotta say. But the first thing she based it on was that first video. She wants to continue the so-called all women, but we know mostly women ain't gonna get that. Because really, when it comes to mostly white women, they trying to save their babies so they can produce it up. They trying to get them stop doing it. That's what the biggest fight with the abortion is about. But with the other people, with black people and these other people, and that's what this really is about. It comes down to population. And if you, for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, it's already been boarded. But particularly, if you got all these black females that do it, guess what? It want to reduce it even more. Under health care for women. Yeah. But you see what they did back in the past. Same old pattern. Same pattern. And a lot of people don't even know it. And it might be some unsubclosed, because you know how some commercial YouTube they'll put on saying, oh yeah, medical blah blah blah. He just told you what that medical stuff was about. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and give a shut. But yeah, it's real. And now they're taking your men out. Your boys out, your cousins out, black women. This is going on. Because the man is the planter of the seed. But anyway, that's all. But you see what you get. Watch who understand what white supremacy is. because it moves in all different phases. This is what I'm learning just as well as I'm watching, learning from other people. So think about it. Think of really let God guide you on when it comes when you select to want to be a leader of this country. He'll show you. Take care and be blessed.